You know, people need to stop comparing their homeschool to a public school because, I mean, we're talking, you know, homegrown, organic, beautiful education over here versus McDonald's, all right? So stop trying to meet those McDonald's standards, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you even half care about your child's education, you're going to be able to do way better than they would be getting in a public school. Plus, they will be safe. Hi there, if you are new here, I'm Shayla, second generation homeschool mom with 6 kids, from 12th grade all the way down to kindergarten. I'm also a homeschool mentor for new homeschool parents, and we live on a homestead in the mountains. This video is packed, mamas. In this video, I have a peek at our homeschool room renovation process, from messed to blessed. I have got a homeschool room tour for you as well, and we'll look at some of the organization I have, and at the end of the video I'm answering subscriber questions. Be sure to look at the chapters below in the description if you're looking for something specific. Alright, the time has come to tackle our homeschool space. Over the next few days, we're going to be putting down flooring. This flooring has been driving me absolutely bonkers since we moved in. Over here, it's just concrete, and over here, it's painted. We have kind of a wonky finished edge over here. We used to have the drums over here, and we recently moved those to the room in the corner that we are making into the band room for the present time. And what I'm going to do is we're going to take all these books off the shelf. I might move the bookshelf. I'm not sure, but I'm going to reorganize this space in here and make it what I've kind of been envisioning all along. I know, but I'm thinking to paint this, that forest green that I was going to paint behind the stairs. What do you guys think? No. I think I have a new favorite space in the house, and I'm honestly surprised. I never expected the homeschool space to be one of my new favorite spaces. So we have lived in this home for a year now, and I have one homeschool room tour from last year. The room was far from done. Since that video was done, we have completed all of the room. This home is a fixer-upper, and it was only about 75%, maybe even 70% done when we moved into it. I keep saying 75%, but my husband pointed out he thinks it was actually closer to like 70% done. And we've been working on it as we have the time and the money. So this homeschool room has been a process. There are a couple of areas, like there's no trim around the doors yet, you might notice, no trim around the window. And we have a few more small minor things to do around the room, but for the most part, it is done. And I am very happy with how it turned out. Before I dive too deeply into this video though, I want to say one thing about homeschool rooms. You don't have to have one to homeschool. Many people homeschool without a homeschool room, and it works marvelously. I also want to point out we don't do all of our school in this room. We school all throughout the house. My oldest does the majority of his school on his bed in his bedroom because he likes it there because it's quiet, I guess. I've got kids that homeschool with a lot of their school. I want to say probably half of their school in the office upstairs. Some of the kids school upstairs at the dining table, which I don't particularly like. I don't think books and food combine, and I had many, many, many years where I had to combine them. And so I've just been there, done that, and it just, replacing books because drinks and food spilled on them is just not fun. But I know a lot of you are doing that. And I've done it, and it does work. And so I just want to say that this homeschool room is not like something that somebody has to have to homeschool. When we started our homeschool journey, we homeschooled from a very small home for over 12 years. We were a growing family of up to 7 in less than 1,000 square feet of space. And it was tight. It was hard. Those were definitely hard years. It's hard to consistently be rearranging things, trying to find a space for the books and the records, more books for children as they start to get older and their workloads start to increase. It was difficult. And as I was saying, for 12 years we homeschooled in very small spaces, smaller than the average. So I know what it's like to not have a homeschool space. And I just wanted to say that before I dive into this video. So I have ADHD. Personally, I enjoy having a homeschool room because it helps me to separate tasks. I get overwhelmed quite easily because of the ADHD. I have 2 sons with ADHD as well. And so having a homeschool space is really nice to keep things organized. And I find that it helps me in the way my brain thinks and processes things to have a designated place to homeschool. But like I said, we don't homeschool strictly in this room. This is just where we keep everything. It is where I homeschool the children that I actively need to be involved in. I like to be able to set everything up at the table, and when it comes to time to go make a meal or lunchtime, I like being able to leave that behind and kind of compartmentalize, so to speak, and go to another area of the home to prepare the meals. I like not having to put away all the books every time it's time to eat. And so for me, this space is a tremendous blessing. As I get older, I become less adept. I think it has to do with, those premenopause years coming on. When that happens, many women find that their brains just don't multitask as well. So for me, it's really nice to have separation between activities and tasks. And I'm just really thankful that God provided us this space so that I could compartmentalize. I'm going to take you guys on a little tour now. I'm going to show you guys how I have things organized and how I have some areas not so organized. I'm also going to show you guys how I use the filing cabinet because somebody asked that question recently. One of my subscribers wanted to know how I organize my filing cabinet. So I'm going to show you guys that today. I'm going to show you exactly what purposes I love having a filing cabinet for in my homeschool. Now, this isn't a lived-in space. As you can see behind me, there is a second kitchen. We don't really do any cooking in that kitchen. It's more of like just a spare kitchen. There's no stove. It's primarily where we do some farm-related activities. So it's where my oldest son processes eggs from our chickens. It's also where some other activities happen, like when I need to repot plants. It's also the snack kitchen. I don't know what it's like in your home, but I'm sure you guys have seen that meme where homeschooler kids are constantly snacking, and it's the meme from Lord of the Rings where they're asking, one of the hobbits is asking, what about second breakfast? Okay, yep, that's a thing. It's a big thing with homeschool families. So we like to keep some of the snacks in this kitchen down here, and I recently just finished it up. So this area has been under construction for a full year. It's been slowly coming along, and I did one homeschool room tour in this room, and you guys can go back and watch that. That video was done while the room was still in a lot of transitions. We didn't even have the flooring down at that time, and since then we've got the flooring down. We have repaired the walls. As mentioned, for the most part, this room is done. It is definitely organized well, and it's organized in a way that makes sense to my brain. So let's dive in. Real quick before I forget, because I know I will forget, I want to show you guys these shirts. They're from a homeschool mama who has a little t-shirt business. And I love this shirt. She designed it specifically at my request. I wanted a place to get t-shirts from, and I kind of gave her an idea of what I wanted, and this is the design that she came up with. Check it out. It says, "Do all things with love." And that's one of my favorite quotes and things to remember as I'm teaching my children and as we go through, well, you know, all of the attitude, ups and downs. This helps me remember the reason that I'm doing this. So I really love this shirt as my new homeschool shirt. I've got one in this color, and then I think I have one in coral. I will link to her business below so you guys can get one of these for yourselves as well if you love it. Okay, so this wall and this little arch thing, it's been in my mind for, I don't know, like months. I've been dreaming of where to put the arch, and it finally hit me to put the arch behind the stove. And it helps the room look so much more put together. These shelves used to be just a plain wood color, and they used to be together, and they used to be on the opposing wall behind where the camera is, and I'll show you what's there in a second. But these shelves used to be over there, and I realized it would look a little bit more symmetrical in here if I took them and put them on each side of the stove. My decor style is bohemian. I love the boho decor style, as you can tell. So that's kind of what I have going on over here. I also love the dark academia look, and I've been wanting to do the dark academia look for a while, but I wasn't sure which room to do it in, and it really hit me, the library would be a really good place to do that dark academia look. So I've got a dark academia boho vibe on this wall. And now I'm going to show you guys a little bit closer up of what is on these shelves. All right, so up on the top, I have just books and, you know, things that are kind of aesthetically pleasing. This right here, you guys, is actually a puzzle, and the cover of this puzzle was really ugly. It was primary colors. So I literally took a poster and I recovered it. And so if you have like lots of boxes that you don't like the look of, that is one idea of something you can do to, you know, enhance the aesthetics. This is actually a shelf for my husband and his gloves, and my boys and their gloves. They're farm gloves. Over here I have the 12th graders books. Each one of my kids have their own section. Oh my Lord, you guys, the difference giving each kid a section has made in our homeschools wonderful. We don't have the issue of lost books anymore and books being misplaced all the time. I mean, we still have it from time to time, but not as bad, not like we did before. So this is the 12th graders schoolwork. Down here we have, my son is getting ready to go into 8th grade, so we have the 8th graders. And then down below here, I have put math books. We use My Father's World, so I've got a lot of the My Father's World teaching books and materials down here. And then down here, I have more My Father's World and some preschool activities. Down here, we have got language arts. And then this section is another one of my kids' sections. And I have to clean all of these out and get ready for the upcoming school year. But this section right here is the child that's going into the 5th grade. And then up here, I have, this is the section for foreign languages. Not that, I don't know why that's there. That's a Scrabble. Rules. It's just Scrabble rules. I don't know why those are there. Anyways, we do have all the foreign language things here. I have some games up here for the kids. Just some fun, brainy games and activities. And then, of course, I went with the boho decor. So whenever you do shows like this, it looks so much better and more aesthetically pleasing if you don't fill the whole thing with books. So as you can see, what I've done is I've left some sections open and I put something decorative there. Again, extending onto this section down here, I have more language arts. So this is all language arts books and vocabulary books. Up here, I have she's going into 3rd grade. So my 3rd graders work. And as you can see, this area definitely needs to be organized. It actually looks like this quite often because she's still learning the art of putting books, you know, like vertically instead of horizontally. We're getting there. Anyways, a bunch of these books I actually have to take out, and so some of the new books are in here too. Up here we have more games. This is a fun little tip that kind of simplified things around our homeschool, but I have all these school paper here. We have, oh, what in the world? Those kids just stash things everywhere. Anyways, I have, you know, like primary grades or primary school papers here with composition books, and then we have these, and it's nice because they don't have to open anything. They can just go grab the paper, so we don't have paper like spilling out like we used to. And then over here we have just some teaching materials. I've got magnets that they're for a science project. Anyways, we've got the magnets, and then I also got some math teaching supplies in here. So like the fast facts and just some math worksheets are in here. Up here, I left this area blank. I have a Bible verse here. It's Jeremiah 21:11. And then behind we have the wall chart of the world. This thing is a big book. It unfolds and the page folds, so it goes on forever, and it's a timeline of history. For the time being, since it is spring and going into summer, I have decorated our stove with plants and a Bible verse. This section here, 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 and here, it's all history and geography. Obviously, those are bigger subjects for us that we enjoy. So we have more books. I've got president books back here. Here's a little tip. You guys, if you've got a lot of books, see, that's not very attractive. So what I like to do to make things a little more aesthetically pleasing is to put one of my favorite books that I do like the looks of in the front to cover it. Little sneaky trick there. Down here we have the pencil sharpener, which I went and I got a really good pencil sharpener because they kept breaking on us. So this is a big pencil sharpener, and it was worth every penny. We got science books here, science books here, science books over here. I don't know if you guys can see it all the way over here. Anyways, this all is science books. And then over here we have dictionaries and children's Bibles. Up here, more Bibles. And then we have the art section over here. Oh, here's the receipt for that pencil sharpener. It was $100. I forgot it was so much. Anyways, it's definitely worth every penny because I probably spent more than $100 on crappy pencil sharpeners over the years. Anyways, I keep the receipt with it because it does have a warranty. Okay, we're going to do a little 180 of the room here. I have cork boards over here with all kinds of fun stuff. I want to show you guys these. These are really handy. I have a whole bunch of different ones. These are the boho designs, but I like to switch them out. And it helps to reinforce lessons the kids have learned. So I really recommend these posters. They're super handy. And then we have another cork board over here with just little decorative things on it and fun little things that I get from Harbert and Sprout. Over here we've got my desk. I do most of the planning here at the table, but sometimes, well, actually I'm trying to get into the habit of doing the planning at the desk. And I think it'll be a little bit easier now that it's over at the window. And then we have my filing cabinet, and I have a request for what I use the filing cabinet for. So let's go take a look at that. And this is a cute little magnetized vase that my mom got me, so I put it here. I thought it looked really pretty there with these flowers that my daughter collected and dried. I have a lot of curriculum though. I have a lot of children, so one thing that is affordable is when you print your own curriculum. You buy curriculum and you can print it off as you need it for however many children you need it for. I have a lot of curriculum I do that with. Again, I use Harbor and Sprout for some of the younger kids. Like here's a whole homesteading unit. So in here I have all of the loose paper curriculum, and I find it so much easier to organize it alphabetically in here than it is to stuff it in a book and be looking for sheets. All I have to do whenever I need something is just come over here, say, okay, let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for something for My Father's World. They have a lot of loose sheets too. And I just open up and pull out what I need as I need it. And again, I love having things alphabeticized. It helps me with my brain, with the way I process things. Before I change the angle of the camera, I have little things up here for the younger kids. Like this is a little numbers board. I've got change up here. Oh my gosh, I think my kids have been stealing change from the school change jar. This is for teaching how to count change. Those little stinkers, they've been stealing pennies. Anyways, I have this beautiful set. Again, this is for the younger children. It's The World of Peter Rabbit, but it's little mini books and it's got the whole series. I love this. It's number 2, so I've got number 2 pencils in there. Back here, I have another little file folder. I don't really need these anymore. I should probably just get rid of them since I have the filing system. But before I had the filing cabinet, I used these a lot to organize the loose leaves. So if you don't have a filing cabinet, but you like the idea, I recommend these. You can organize, see right now I've got my kindergartner's, a bunch of his loose leaf pages in here, and it makes them handy to grab. It is super handy to have. Back here is where I keep the maps and the charts and the posters that are not in use. So you can see this map here against this wall. So these maps up here are basically just fun maps. Like, I think this one is of all the states. It's got stickers of all the states. So what I like to do, you guys, see, I've just got all kinds of maps like this. You can get them in a lot of different places nowadays. These are Cavallini posters, I think. But anyways, I've got this one here on the wall right now because we have been studying geography. In the last year, we've been studying as many countries around the world as we can. And so that's why that one's there right now, but I will end up swapping this out. I also have things like the Declaration of Independence here, other historical documents like the Congress of the United States. I've got all kinds of things in here from when we're studying American history. So these will go on the wall when we're studying American history. When we study the beginning, of time, this is a fun one that I like to put on the wall. It's the dinosaurs. So that's fun when we're starting to study like history in a chronological order. We're studying it at the beginning of time. Down here I have teacher aids. So by that I have paper protectors and dividers. This is a whole guide that I have gathered. It's information I've gathered on how to teach English, just different English and editing techniques. I have got some math supplemental sheets in here and just helpful things on how to teach math. And I really like to be able to organize them into these binders and then slip them into here so that, because these are kind of ugly and they don't look good on the shelf. And to me, they look like clutter and they get lost. So I like to organize some of the things into these binders and then they fit in here so perfectly and you can just label the top so you can see exactly what you have. But anyways, these are all just different teaching things that I've compiled through the years. Down here we have records. So in here I have old homeschool planners, things of that nature. I have portfolios of my kids' past work. Like this is my oldest son's 9th grade portfolio. And so that's where I keep the records that I need to keep for transcripts and things like that. Down on the bottom I have games, more games. I don't like looking at things like this on my shelf, so I like being able to stuff these away, and this drawer worked perfectly for the majority of our games. Over there, we've got boots. I don't have anywhere else to put them. We have a nice big house compared to what we used to have. But the shoes, for some reason, they just always end up being by the door, and it's what works. So I hope you can overlook the boots. But I've got my pens here, obviously. I have a pen addiction. I have many pens, and I love them all. Batteries, little teaching supplies in here. These are kind of cool, you guys. If you've got kids that have trouble focusing, you can get these little strips, and it makes it so your kids can read through them, and sometimes the color helps them to just stay engaged and get more from the reading. And it also helps them to focus if they have like eye issues and things. I stuff little notes for myself in places. So this was something I downloaded from Not Consumed 2016. I don't know if they have it anymore, but Bible verses to kind of help just keep me on track, and I will stuff them all kinds of places. I got stickers for my planner. I don't know why I have stickers for planners. I use them. I enjoy seeing them when they're in there, but I hate installing them. And a lot of times I don't take the time for it. Like, they make me happy to look at, and they actually do help me stay more engaged with my planner. I just hate putting them in there. Chore cards in here, spare chore cards. Most of the other chore cards are upstairs. I do have some DVDs in here and some chalk. I would like to do a chalkboard in here at some point, but I don't know where I put it yet. Check it out, guys. See this flooring? I did not have it last year in the video. We got this flooring put in I don't know, over the winter at some point. Puzzles. We've got puzzles and wrap-ups and activities in here. Lots of activities. All right, this side is extremely boring. I have sticky notes and whiteout and all the little teaching things like staples that I need. This is a really handy thing that I have. It's a paper cutter, and I really like having ones that are beyond just scissors. So this is handy. I use it a lot. And of course I have a laminator. I don't know what I would do without my laminator. It's just one of my favorite things. And in the bottom, this is a very boring drawer. It's just got electronic stuff in it for recording. Here we have fun cart number 1. So this is the art cart. And what we love about having these carts, this one was flimsy. I got it at Walmart. I don't recommend getting them off Walmart. I have other carts that I got on Amazon that are way sturdier and they wheel much more nicely. But this one is just the art cart, and the reason that I love it is because I can just wheel it up to the table and wheel it back when we're done, and the kids love that too. This is our secondary cart, and this is our math cart, all of our math supplies. Again, it's wonderful because you can wheel it up to the table like this. You don't have to get all of this stuff out every day and then put it back. All right, this wall, I love it so much better than it was last year. Last year, it just felt so heavy. I have kind of simplified this wall. I love how it turned out. Up here, we have more books, more art supplies, canvases, and baskets. And here I've got glasses. A couple of my boys wear glasses. And then this one is empty. It's just a spare for little things as I need. All of these baskets here, they all have flashcards in them, and then some of them have games. I've also got vocabulary cards. I need to go through this whole area and organize all of this much better than it is. I kind of just stuffed everything up here because, as I mentioned, I only got all of this in place this week. These are kind of neat. They're called God, I Need to Talk to You About Talking Back. I need to talk to you about disrespect. So anyways, these are just a biblical perspective on certain character traits, and you can read these with your kids. And so I really enjoy these books. They're all just to help build character. Let's see if I get it stuffed in there. And I've got lots of little teaching supplies, like the little random stuff. You know how much random stuff, especially when you're teaching like lower elementary children, there can be a lot of little things. So I keep them in little baggies like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to like categorize each one and probably label them. But anyways, more flashcards. We have, you know, like the good and the beautiful flashcards, which we'll be using this year with my youngest child, my last one in our homeschool. Games up here, we've got more games. This section here, these are classic books, and then some of them are from the good and the beautiful. So I purposefully put these at my eye level so I would see them all the time. Kids learn so much from reading. They learn proper English. They become inspired. It's better for them than video games and, you know, like watching movies. Of course, we do watch movies. We don't have video games, but we do watch movies. But, you know, with books, it's just different, and it's so educational. So what I'm trying to do is I put these at eye level of myself so I can remember to pull one off the shelf and designate them for my children to read throughout the year. And I put the ones that have the prettier covers here. I have more in other places that don't have as pretty covers, but all of the old ones and the cool ones and the ones with some kind of neat covers, like this is a really neat cover. It's a old hardback copy of Little House in the Big Woods. Things like that I like having here. And again, they're at eye level, so I remember to assign the books. Here, I would have put this up higher, but I had it up higher once before, and I found that I kind of would forget about it. So I have it so that when I walk past it, I can kind of see in here. I love flashcards. I love teaching with flashcards. My kids love learning with flashcards. I did a whole flashcard haul, so I will link to that video below. Anyways, these are all the flashcards. So I like it at this level so I can just, you know, walk by and what do I want to have the kids work on for about 15 minutes. Oh, let's do some states and capitals. Okay, kids, let's refresh on states and capitals here. or I can go through and I've got US presidents in here. And so, yeah, I like having all the flashcards where I can like visually see them and remember to use them. Otherwise, I kind of forget about them. Down here in this section, I have glasses. This needs to get put away before it gets scratched, but this is a really cool CD. This helped my kids learn states and capitals just so quickly. It's a states and capitals songs singing disc. And here's one of my kids' glasses. So I have decorative books down here. I do want to tell you guys something about these books. I like to get them for the pictures. My kids are very like visual. They're all artistic. They love art and beautiful things. And these books are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. However, you do need to know about these books. They do push evolution, and I feel like they actually push it. And we are Christian homeschoolers, so most of the evolution teachings we're opposed to. So I do want to warn Christians out there that are watching this video. These do have some evolution, so you need to warn your kids or pre-warn them if they're going to actually be reading and not just looking at the books. More pretty books back here. We've got the Children's Atlas of the World. I don't know if you can see it. These are nice. I painted these. I spray painted these, or I painted them with something. I don't remember what I painted them with. But what I'm going to be using these for are more things for my elementary children. And primarily, these are going to be used for teaching supplies for my kindergartner this year. I like having things within reach so I can just grab it, stick it on the table, and when I'm done with it, I can just put it back. And it makes it easy to clean up. Over here on this side, I have darling little things that I've collected over the years. I have a whole video that I did showing you guys all the little manipulatives, but this is just one of them, and it's for the younger children. And they're ABCs. They've got little fish that they go fishing for. And when we have their cousins come over, all the cousins always enjoy all of these games too. And so we've got stamps with numbers, punctuation marks, stamps with letters. Those are there. And then I have puzzles here, like ABC puzzles for when I'm starting to teach reading. Down on the very bottom, we have elementary readers. So these are the books that when children are learning to read, they're easy little concepts and little books for them to go through and that I use to help teach reading. Over here we have some more character books. These are a children's book about being forgetful, and they're the Help Me Be Good series. These are Ivy League kids flashcards. They're learning decks. We really like these too. Like I said, we love flashcards, but these actually have places of the world and people of the world. So this one, obviously Einstein, and then it gives just a few facts, non-overwhelming, really nice for kids because it's, like I said, not overwhelming. So that's great to help your children learn about places like the, like the Eiffel Tower in Paris and the Taj Mahal, places like that. And then down on the bottom, we have all of the books that we're currently using this year with My Father's World on this side. On the other side, I have teaching materials for the very early elementary kids, like preschool and kindergarten. My brother was going to get rid of this sofa. This was one of his sofas in his house, and he bought a new couch and he was going to get rid of it. And so I asked him if I could have it, and he was like, sure, save me a trip to the dump. So cool. And then that chair over there is so cool. I did love that chair, you guys. I got it secondhand at the Goodwill. And then the light too. I had been wanting a light for down here, just like this. And they were like $200. I found this at Goodwill for a fraction of the price. I think it was like $25. So 25 compared to 70 something, which is what this one was. The ones I was looking at, this one when it was new, it was 70 something dollars. Now to get something similar, the ones I looked at were like 200 and something. So I was so happy to find this lovely lamp here, or I guess it's just a, what do you call it, a pendant. I forgot to show you guys some more of my little boho touches here. This is a little, I'm not sure what it is. What would you call this? It's a little basket and it has compartments in it. So we put more flashcards in here. And I have it on the bookshelf. I'm not sure if I like it there. I'm not sure if I'll keep it there, but it does look okay. So maybe I will keep it there. I like to teach my children about mindfulness and how to relax. So I've got some mindfulness relaxation cards, and these hooks I got off of Amazon and they work perfectly, and I could hang flashcards that I've made that we're working through at the present time on these. So I've got some nature mindfulness cards and just a few different ones here. And these are to help teach the children to just be more mindful and learn how to relax, some relaxation techniques and positive affirmations. This is kind of neat. I think I got this at Harbor and Sprout a long time ago. These are ABC flashcards, and with each one, they have a little positive affirmation thing on them. These are little baggies full of games. They have little wooden games in them. You guys, look at this note from my daughter. This cracks me up. I love you. I love Dad too. So down the hallway here, we have more maps, and these are really nice maps that I found on Amazon. And so I put them kind of low so that the kids could study them a little bit more easily. There's a glare, I'm sorry. This is the areas we still have to do. As you can see, we still have so much work to do on our home fixer-upper here. A little fun feature here. This is our school bell. Whenever I need to call the kids in, this is the bell I use, and they all come running. I've taught them when you hear that bell, you come running, and they do. And it makes it so it saves my voice. Having 6 kids is a little bit like herding flies some days. So having that bell helps a lot. We're going to dive into the homeschool Q&A portion of this video. I don't even know how many questions that I ended up getting regarding homeschooling over the last month. There's some really good questions in here. Okay, so we've got Anna Shriver asking, what are your favorite tips for time management with ADHD? Okay, I have videos. I will link to them on that topic. I have got time management videos for you. They will be linked to below. Okay, we've got Chantel. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. And she wants to know, as a very new follower who has just fallen in love with your content and also a homeschooling, homesteading mom myself, I'm interested in how you manage to teach so many grades at once. That took me a long time to learn, to be honest with you, but once I figured it out, it was like, oh, this is easy. So what you want to do is you want to find curriculums that teach more than one grade at once. There are so many out there. You've got so many to choose from now compared to when I started. We use My Father's World. It is wonderful for all the learning styles. So it doesn't matter what your kid's learning style is. It accommodates all of them. It's great for kids that are more advanced, and it's also great for kids that are neurodivergent. Another nice thing about My Father's World is that it incorporates many subjects, so science, art, Bible, history, geography, and they're all combined. They're different books, but you all go through them together. And sometimes they do have extra books for the younger kids or an extra book for the older kids. But for the most part, it's very easy to homeschool your children. And the nice thing about it, when you use a curriculum like My Father's World, I know there's others out there like My Father's World, but when you use a curriculum like that, the best thing about it is the kids learn so much more, because you might have a 5-year-old that is more advanced. You might have an 8-year-old that's more advanced or delayed. Maybe you got a 10-year-old that's delayed or advanced. With My Father's World, it doesn't matter so much. It cycles around for one, so you'll be going through the level more than one time probably. The other reason is because the information, there's not a lot of testing, the information is just read and presented, and your child can absorb it at their speed. So if they're 5 and they're ready for older kid's lesson, they're listening to it. They're there for a lot of the lesson and they can hear it. Maybe not 5, definitely by 7 and 8 though, because the cycles for elementary children, and then it starts in 3rd grade and goes to 8th grade. So your 3rd through 8th graders are all learning together at the same time. Your high schoolers are going to be off in a different cycle. So that is one of the ways. Now, math and language arts. They do need to be individual, because you can't combine grades in that. So because they build on each other, those subjects build on each other. So what I like to do is I outsource math, because if I was to teach all of my children math, I would be homeschooling math until probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I wouldn't get anything else taught. So I like to use teaching textbooks. I am going to be doing a review on it if I don't have it published already, so I will link to that below. once it's done. And I also like to use the good and the beautiful. And I really like to use the good and the beautiful because it also combines some subjects. So if you're teaching language arts, you're not just teaching language arts. You can also, it incorporates some geography and history and literature and spelling and writing. And so I really enjoy the good and the beautiful. One thing that I do to teach many grades all at once is I definitely rely heavy on year-round homeschooling. We do not do a typical like 9-month school year. That just, we've done it before, but it doesn't work well. With as many kids as I have, I really have to do year-round homeschooling. And that gives me the ability to take breaks, more breaks when I need them. So maybe I will, instead of doing like a 5-day school week, I can do a 3-day school week and then take a break. And so, because I've got more time, through the year, and I don't have to squeeze it all in at once. But that's one of the most helpful things. I don't know if I had any other. I actually have a video on this topic. So I will link to that video below, and it's how to homeschool multiple grades at once. I will link to that below for you. We have Emily asking, do your kids have chores, a chore chart? Or is this part of their routine? How do you get them to help? Also, I love Simple Farm Fresh Meals if you have any more. I am trying to put farm fresh meals and just different meal recipes into my videos, each one of my homestead videos. So when you watch those, you will find recipes in them, and I plan to continue to keep doing that. As far as chores, yes, I actually have a chore chart that I make and sell, and I will link to it below for you. I think what I'm going to do with this question, you guys, it's got 8 votes for it, or 8 thumbs up. I think what I'm going to do with this question is I'm actually going to make a video on this. I'm going to do a video at some point of probably like a day in the life, and I'm going to share our systems, our routines, and our chore cards, and how all that process works together along with our task planners. Because for me, I find it's not a one thing, it's I have to hit it from multi angles, and then I finally found a system using those 4 things that seems to work, and it's the first time in our lives where I found something that is truly working. So I will actually do a video on that for you, because I know it's a really important topic